Anyone else wishing for 2024 to just end? Anyone else just wishing for 2024 just to end? My word, what a roller coaster us West Ham fans are in for. West Ham have just received the news. The West Ham fans have just received the news that we had all been dreading. Jared Bowen is set for a spell on the sidelines after fracturing his left foot during our absolutely devastating defeat against Liverpool. 5-0 defeat at home at the London Stadium. He limped off in the 60th minute, and we were hammered. We were literally hammered. No matter what, even if he was on the pitch, we were hammered. And no time scale has been given for his return. We didn't think things could get worse. Well, here I am breaking the bad news for you. Hopefully all the badness and the crap stays in 2024 as we can move forward for 2025. This is a live show, so keep your comments coming in. I'll jump through the comments and we'll hear what you're all saying. Now, Bowen is West Ham's current top goal scorer this season with 5 Premier League goals, and he has alongside that, he's got 4 assists in the Premier League. Now, West Ham said the injury to his left foot, picked up in the first half at the London Stadium, will sideline him heading into the new year, of course. Now, that's a huge blow for West Ham. Not just for West Ham, though, for Julian Lopetegui, who's under a lot of fire at West Ham. We sit 13th in the league, 6 wins from our 19, 8 points above the bottom 3, and missing our man who's had 9 goal contributions is definitely going to be nothing but a disaster. And I don't really know what that means in terms of forcing the hand in the transfer market coming in January. It's just not great at all. Now, listen, it is New Year's Eve. I'm going to try my best to make it a positive. I can't put it a positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the opportunity to come on and have a chinwag with me. I'm putting the link in the chat right now. So put the link, if you want to, click this link, this one here, and this will allow you to come on and have a chinwag with me as well. Little bit of positive news is that Antonio has been discharged from hospital and is recovering at home following his car accident on December the 7th. So that is it. But when it comes to Jared Bowen not being available for West Ham, fractured foot, this could lead to, I don't know what, I mean, realistically, I mean, players do recover from things like this. I suppose it depends on the level of break and things like that, and will it have an effect on any ligaments, which hopefully it's not. But having a fractured foot is definitely not something that you want to do, and I'm assuming it's going to be the best part of February going into March before we probably see Jared Bowen back, let alone the fact that we've got a run of games up until February the 3rd, which includes Man City, Aston Villa in the Cup, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa again, and then Chelsea. So a lot of tough games coming our way. And what do we do? What do we do without Jared Bowen, the man that's given us some element of excitement, the man that has contributed 9 goals for us this season? Right, I'm going to bring in the first one. There's loads of comments coming in. So I'll bring in Damien, our good old friend Damien. Damien, can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, one sec.
Yo, you, hear me? Yeah, we can hear you, mate. How you doing?
Where am I getting that from? Boom, boom, boom.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my audio. 4-2-3-1. Areola in goal. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Tadibo centre-back. Kilman centre-back. Emerson left-back. Souček and Alvarez in front of the back 4. Kudus right wing. Somerville left wing. And then you got an option between what you Paqueta 10 personally. Don't think Soler did enough to prove his worth, and I would give Fulkrug the start up top. And I would be telling Guilherme and Soler, you're competing for a place in that side. That's what I would be doing as West Ham manager. That's what I would be doing as West Ham manager, and that is as simple as that. And we need a centre forward in January. I've had it up to here with this team. You know I've had it up to here with this team, Anton. You know I've had it up to here with this team.
Yeah, we do, mate. We do. Yeah. I think you're I know you've been saying it a lot, Damien, for a while. And yeah, it's been it's been terrible. I'm actually quite surprised that we're still 8 points, 13th in the league. By the way that we've been playing, we've been really lucky that other teams in the league have been not performing. But when it comes to losing a player of Bowen's talent, albeit, Bowen's had 9 goal contributions this season, and probably
Bowen is an
his most
incredibly talented player. We know
he's had the most, and he's had probably a bog standard season for his takings as well, hasn't he?
We have quality in this squad. We have quality in this squad. No one's denying that. We have quality in this squad. I've never said we haven't. I refuse to get onto players this season when the manager is not setting up correctly. I said this. I said this to Russ earlier in the season. 4-2-3-1. Moyes spent a long time building this side, and we did not do enough in the transfer window to move away from 4-2-3-1. Moyes did better with us last season, and he lost his left winger. He lost both his left wingers, and he's still done better with us. This guy, don't get me started. He said that he watched us for 6 months. He said that he watched us for 6 months. What? To make a decision on how he's going to adapt what we have to play like his Wolves team, who we were better than. Come on, get out of here.
I think what we need to do though is sit and think. Right, what?
I've told you the answers.
Well, the one. Do you know what?
That's
many
the 11. That's the 11.
Damien. There's many people.
That's the 11 you put out.
Damien, there's many people in the chat that disagree with you on the Soler thing, and I think
they can disagree as much as they like. They can jump on. They can jump on next.
I reckon Carlos.
They can jump on now. Anton, they can jump on
They've
now.
got the link. They've got the link, Damien.
We can call it a day. That's my thoughts. That's what I would do if I was manager of this team. I've just told you. Yeah. I've just told you what I would do.
I agree. I agree about most of the team, but Soler,
whatever.
Soler, Damien,
between those two positions, but that's it. That's Damien. What you need to do.
After Damien, hello, Damien. In terms of
after Damien, and when I write on your Facebook wall 100 times a day, and you don't respond once.
Damien. In terms of Carlos Soler, I think that there is a player there. I do think there's a player there. I think that my issue though is my issue comes down to Lopetegui. And his style of management. We're halfway through the season, and we still have no vision. That's the concern. There's no vision, and I've said it all along in all the videos. There's no identity at West Ham. Especially more so now, because we actually have no idea, when you look at the inconsistency in team selections.
Put me on the phone to Lopetegui. The geezer's a donut, mate. The geezer's a donut. His football is outdated, brother. We were better last season. You've had £150 million added to the squad, and you've made us worse. And we ain't got a European campaign to focus on. Get out of here, man. Don't tell me about this guy. I told you about this
Damien,
guy.
I've got a question for you. I've got a question for you, mate. If with this news that Jared Bowen is out, and Lopetegui stays in charge, and the fact that we've got 8 points of a difference from relegation, does this put us in serious jeopardy of going down?
If he plays the right team, no. But he don't play the right team. Why has he got all these silly going on with Tadibo? You've had your little whatever. He's a £40 million asset. He has to play. There is no two ways about it. Somerville, all right, I do get he's a bit younger, and he is a little bit he's not massively his strengths that he could do with protecting on that left-hand side defensively sometimes, which Leeds allowed him to do. Yeah. But come on, he needs to play more, man. He needs to play more. Against lesser teams, we should have been showcasing the likes of Paqueta, Somerville, Kudus, Bowen, Antonio. This guy's all messing around. This guy is messing around. I'm being honest, and you can tell. That I answered your question. Lopetegui. I don't know what Lopetegui's going to do next week. So how can I tell? I've not been happy with what he's done every single week.
I've got to agree with you, Damien. There, mate. I'm coming into these games, mate. We watched what the Liverpool game, right? I sat with my dad. I was watching the game, and I think most of us as fans looked at that team and thought, what's he doing? Then 5 minutes into the game, I turned around to my dad and I said, "See, at half time, I guarantee you he'll bring Todibo on." And I suppose this shows
I heard you
this
say
particular show. This particular show's all about kind of what do we do now, and because Bowen's out. I don't think he's not captain material, right? But we've lost our captain anyway. No means about it. We've lost our captain. We've lost our goal threat. The thing is, and what you think, Damien, what you've said though is right. We do have the ability and the players in the squad to step into positions. Like you could push Kudus, you could bring Somerville.
I've got something to say to you.
Go on then.
So we have got key injuries. Yeah, some at the moment we're not too bad. There's other teams in the league I'm sure are not as would suffer just as much as us. Let's just say because Bowen is a big loss. Of course he is, but there's been times I've put 11s together in my head from what I know is available in that squad, and it is just as strong, if not stronger, than the team that has got us so much higher in the league. Last Europe, late European campaigns, like winning trophies. The squad has still got the same quality in it, if not better. Kudus wasn't in our team when we won the European Cup, and we've got Kudus now, and Paqueta, and Bowen who's injured. The team is there for someone to work with, is my opinion. 4-2-3-1. I've said it all season. You either go Souček and Alvarez in front of the back four, or you try and integrate Paqueta into that role against teams with lesser press. No, he wants to play tiki-taka Spanish football, dingy. Fair enough. Then fair enough, isn't it?
Mark here says the only player that turns up week in and week out is out now. Is out. We're doomed, and it's.
Well, why don't you set them up in a way they can win games? Why don't
but Damien, you're not the only one. You're not the only one that's not saying that. To be fair, everyone's saying that because we're turning up to games now with looking at the starting 11, and we're as baffled as anyone else could be. We're seeing substitutions that's making you as baffled as anyone could be, and then you're like, the style of play is it's monotonous, mate. It's boring. I am more bored than I've ever been watching West Ham, and that is taken into consideration. West Ham at their worst with David Moyes. West Ham at their worst with David Moyes. I'm more bored now.
What's that? Say that again about David Moyes.
I am more bored now watching West Ham than I've ever been under. More. Yeah,
because we don't play transition football. The bumper. No. We don't play transition football, bro. That's it. We don't play on transition anymore. What more do you want me to say, Anton? I've been saying all these things. I haven't said that specifically, but that's what wins you games. Transition. Yeah. That's what wins you games. At least we were defensively sound under Moyes. And
I agree with that point, Damien. And the one thing that gets to me is a similar... Damien, the similarity, the similarity between currently Lopetegui and West Ham. Damien, the similarity between Lopetegui at West Ham and Pellegrini at West Ham is so similar, it's ridiculous. And I genuinely mean that. If you go back and you watch West Ham's transition under Pellegrini, which there was no movement, there was a very static midfield, and now you've got that staticness back again. Watch our game against Liverpool. Watch our game against Wolves. I agree with your point. Transitionally, we are rocked. We are shooken to the core. We don't have any element of transition. Our players are static. They stand still, and they don't move, and they expect the ball to come to them. And this is the thing that frustrates me, though, Damien, because as much as we've got all these players, this is why I don't think these players are fighting for this manager. Because you're telling me that Kudus doesn't transition, doesn't move. He fucking does. We know he does. We know Paquetá does. We know Bowen does. We know all these players move. But for some reason in this 19 games, we've not done it. We've done it once this season. Once, and it was Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle was all right, but Newcastle people got. I said this at the beginning of the season. People, at the beginning of the season, I was the only person saying this for ages. You all got carried away with the Newcastle result. Isak had 2-3 clear-cut chances, and what does the reaction become after that? It's terrible because we lost, but instead it's good because you won. So whatever I said, people got carried away with the Newcastle result. I was the only person in the goddamn fan base who knew not to get carried away with the Newcastle result. I knew that the tide was going towards tipper-tapper. Okay, next game, Arsenal. Okay, you haven't got as many 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" players on the pitch. Set piece. Man for man. Brilliant. We got 2 men free. Back post, boom. 1-0 in 2 minutes. Oh, this is easy. Don't talk to me about West Ham, bro. Don't talk to me about West Ham. It's as simple as that, Anton, man. I'm telling you, Lopetegui has not got it right since being here. 4-2-3-1 should be the setup of this team. Inverted wingers.
I'll ask
Where? Thank you for letting me finish. Where possible. That's all I've got to say.
I'll ask a question to you, Damien. I think I know the answer. I'm going to ask everyone in the chat the same question, right? We're 19 games in, and this is just a simple question. Obviously, just for anyone that's joining us that hasn't seen, Bowen is out with a fractured foot. No time scale announced. If you look at the history of players, professional players who get the best treatment, you're looking at realistically probably 8 weeks minimum that he'll be missing. So he'll miss the whole of January, probably miss the whole of February, and may make something till end of February, start of March. But that depends on.
You've got a world-class right winger in your squad, Anton. That's that. Like, I'm not saying, but the thing is, with Bowen and Kudus, you've got 2 brilliant right wingers in your squad, and Bowen can play as a striker, Kudus can play as a 10, Kudus can play as a left winger, Kudus can play as a striker. You've got options. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you what.
I
love Jared Bowen. He's my captain. I love Jared Bowen. Everyone in that squad and club loves Jared Bowen, but there are answers in that squad to be okay without Jared Bowen because you've got Mohamed Kudus.
I'm going to ask you one more, Damien. I'm going to ask you one more question, right? And then I'll ask everyone in the chat the same question. And then, Damien, if you head off, I'll finish off the stream, right? But before you go, I'm going to ask you a question. We're 19 games into the season. We're halfway through the season, right? This is for you and for everyone in the chat. The question for you is a double-barrel question. Do you bite the bullet, sack the boss? And if you do, who do you genuinely, sincerely, considering we know who our owners are, bring in? Now, I know I'm just putting that one out to you. So to Damien, I'll do that to you first. Everyone in the chat, get your comments in. Let me know if you would sack Loppy, and who would you realistically bring in, knowing our ownership? Over to you, Damien, and then I'll get you out, and then I'll go into the chat and read all the stuff out.
I don't have a name because I don't know the finances, but I will say anyone competent of playing 4-2-3-1 with a preference towards inverted wingers, and you can only help them by bringing in a decent striker, and that's all I've got to say. I don't have to give you a name because I don't know the finances. If I knew, and it's not my job. Let me just say that firstly, and it's not my job. If I don't know what kind of money you've got out there, but over there, Mr. Sullivan, but my identity for you would be 4-2-3-1, someone who plays inverted wingers most of the time, and is competent both in an attacking and defensive manner. That's what I would say. I can't give you a name here. It could be Mourinho is the person who brought that system to the league, basically.
Yeah.
So So you could choose him. You could choose someone who will have taken his philosophies. I said this to you. I said this on a post earlier as well. Yeah, and I think it might have even got deleted, but it's cool. Amarin, yeah. This is why I was one of the only fans not overwhelmed on Amarin, because I didn't think we have had enough to fund a 5 at the back system, really top level. You know what I mean? A top level 5 at the back system. That's what I was saying. And you look at Man United now, no one knows what they're gonna spend, yeah. But they've got so many profile issues, it's a joke. They haven't got a left wing back, they haven't got a proper left centre back. Their attacking talent want to leave and So that's why I was against 5 at the back. I'm actually happy we didn't commit to a long-term 5 at the back. But I've said this: the identity Moyes created in this team, which we've not moved far enough away from, is 4-2-3-1. So that's my answer.
Damien, your passion cannot be argued against, mate.
Passionate guy.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
it. Passionate brother, bro.
Damien, I appreciate, mate. And listen, we do see the stuff on Facebook. There's loads of us that are on it, but there's too many comments and messages to get back to people, so we appreciate it. Damien, mate, listen, you're always kicking about. You'll see the next time you jump on, please do. Thanks for coming on, and I'll talk to you very soon, mate. Fingers crossed we can get through
Good luck, West Ham.
a better 2025, mate.
Good luck, West Ham.
Cheers, Damien, mate.
Bye.
Take it easy, mate. Bye-bye. Right, there you go, Damien, Mr. Passionate. He was on the line there. So I'm going to go through and see what everyone else is saying. If you're just joining me, you're hearing about Jared Bowen fracturing his foot. With West Ham, what do we do now? We've got Kudus, who can move at different positions. We've got Somerville, who can come off the bench and actually start games. He'll get a run of games now. Paquetá, Soler, Guilherme, is he going to get a chance in the team? We're a day away from the transfer market opening. West Ham go into the transfer market. Do we need to sell to make some money? All that sort of stuff. We're going to start hearing transfer rumours left, right and centre. Anyone on loan, any of the younger players that can step up, you name it. We're doomed. Hope Lopez should give Luis Guilherme more minutes now. Wayne Rooney has just become available. I've seen that from Plymouth. Sack him today. Potter on a 6-month deal and reassess at the end of the season from Surreal Frame. Jay says sack him and Potter probably do a better job if available as well. Let me just see if I can get that there. A lot of people. Oh God, there's so many comments here. Would have been Conchao, but now we're too late now. Absolutely, but we're not for the man he's replaced. Fonseca, sack Lop, get Carrick. A lot of Carricks in there. I'd sack Loppe and give Noble the interim job. Would take Carrick. Anyone except Lopetegui, Moyes, or Damien. Get Carrick at the end of the season. Loppe out, Carrick in from Mark. Sack Loppe in a West Ham man. Carrick, he knows what he wants. Sack J-Lo, Carrick replacement. Pete Chapman. I think the thing is, whatever we West Ham do in terms of moving forward with our coach, if it is going to be someone like young and enthusiastic, or young like Michael Carrick, then there's a project there. I think we can all hold our hands up and admit that the project under Lopetegui was never a long-term project. But if you're going to bring someone in youthful and young, who's dynamic and does transition football the way he does, especially in the Championship, which is a hard league, and we all know that, you're going to have to give them time. 100%. No point now, do it at the end of the season, need one quality striker and we'll be okay. And this is the interesting thing here, Alex, is I do think that the West Ham board could hold off, because they may look at the rest of the other teams there and go, they're worse off than us. But the problem is, a couple of wins and a couple of losses with the games that we've got coming up, with the players that we don't have available, could bring us right back into that mix. Vasilis says, guys, we need at least 2 centre-backs. I suggest Ake and Bassity. They're quick and clever and tactically perfect. A few centre-backs don't have a clue how to defend one-on-one or in open play. My concern here, Vasilis, is I think we do have 2 quality centre-backs. It's just that Lopetegui's got an issue with Todibo, and I think Todibo is quality, but the constant in and out and in and out and in and out and shake it all about is genuinely a concern for me. Sack Loppe, Potter till the end of the season. If we're going to go and buy someone, then with Bowen out, this surely means we can't sell anyone now. Won't get Carrick out until the contract. The whole team and coaching setup is alarmingly fragile. And on that, I'm looking at the team do look fragile. They look fragile. They physically look at them when they're on the field. They don't look happy. Sack Lopping to get rush team. Rush Green Tea Lady would be a far better job inspiring these players. Potter would not be interested in a 6-month deal. I don't know. The rumours are that he was. The thing I'm concerned about in terms of bringing Potter in is that he's sitting there and it's like, will I, won't I? And the board are going, should you, if Lopetegui wins a couple of games, and I don't put this form of negotiation past our board. Ring. Hey Potter, David Sullivan here. Listen, we've got Lopetegui. He's not doing well. We're going to give him a couple of games. Will he be in standby for 6 months? Yes. Right. Cool. Couple of games later, we do all right. Listen, Potter, we're going to give him one more game. He wins that game. He shithouses that victory. Bang. Right, Potter, hold off. Let's see what happens. We might give you a phone call back in 5 more games. And I honestly don't put that kind of element of negotiation past them. I think that's the way that they deal. We've seen it. The history is there, all in plain sight, the way we dealt with players, the way that other board members from other clubs all over the world, Sporting Lisbon, director, owner, spoke out and said the way that West Ham do dealings is awful because Amorim is doing so well at Man U, right? And the interesting thing about Amorim is I do think there is a good coach there. I don't doubt that whatsoever. I think he's working with an absolute crazy element of players with the investment that went in there, which is mental. Emerson is a left wing back. Amorim Saxon adapt as a right wing back. Jose Mourinho sounds different nowadays. Congrats on getting him on. Is the Bowen injury confirmed? It has been Trini from West Ham themselves. Wanted Conchau, but Milan just got him. Think we missed a big opportunity there. Sack Floppy getting either Allegri or Sarri. Problem with Carrick, he gets the fans who try to deliver, but Sully sees the way we play is irrelevant. And my concern here, David, is no matter who we bring in under the current ownership, I don't think things change, and that's my biggest issue here. And the only person that's ever had a tune out of the board is David Moyes, unfortunately. People hate to hear it, but it's so true. We'll also need Walker Peters as a left back, Delap as striker. There are 4 players in order to build up this team to be solid. I also believe for the moment only Mourinho can sort this out. Toby says it would be nice as fans if we could have a good grace to admit we don't know how to fix the issues. We have ideas, of course, but we're going off match days and media. We're not in there every day. And I completely agree with you there, Toby. You do make a valid point. I do think, though, when I'm watching West Ham week in and week out, and the team selections and the lack of identity under Lopetegui, that's the one thing we can judge the team on, and it doesn't. I don't know if even yourself can deny, Toby, that the players don't look happy, especially when they're subbed on, subbed off. It's a bit wild right now. You're very passionate, just like me. Good on you, mate. Carrick has to be the one. Sullivan out first, then we can talk about next coach, and that's my concern. Lopetegui in, he deserves a season. Does Earthy have a callback option? I believe all of the younger ones do, except for I can't remember who it is. A decent manager can change everything. People say they can't, but looks at Villa. Look what Emery did with the same players Gerrard had. My concern, though, Toby, is our ownership. The ownership at Aston Villa are completely different because they back not just the boss in terms of players, but back the boss in terms of wages. Like there was a player they signed that we were looking at, and they paid 75 grand more than what we were willing to offer. So they do back everything there, and I think there's a vast difference between their ownership and our ownership. Seriously, what do people see in Potter? Success at Brighton was because of their system, not him. And at Chelsea, we all know what happened there, and that's a valid point as well, because look at Brighton's system. With all the managers that they've had, they've got a really good top to bottom well-run club. Get Wayne Rooney in. We can't sell Kudus now. Honestly, it wouldn't put it past clubs coming sniffing around Kudus and trying to tempt West Ham with a bit of money. Other teams would have a contingency plan for such situations. We not even have a plan A. We are closer to the top 5 than the bottom 3 points. Why? Honestly, a lot of teams are over and underachieving this season, but we do need to sort something out. I'd go for Jonathan David and Liam Delap now in January. Epson says Carrick or anyone else in the job won't happen. The Noam Sullivan just won't buy out any coach in a job. I do agree with that there. I agree, Espen. That's why I'd let Noble have a crack for the rest of the season. Jums just needs to shake the squad up. And to be honest with you, I just think I do think it is a mixture of team selection and I don't know. Is Lopetegui is he cocky? Is he a dick? I don't know, man. Who knows? The thing with Potter is he's mates with Brady's husband, so more likely that he'll do us a favour. True, that's absolutely true. It's funny how our fans have mentioned Amorim. They literally cried their eyes out that we didn't get him. How getting on doesn't always work replacing the manager. But to be fair, Captain Caveman, if you'd have said that about Arteta when he first came into Arsenal, look at the way the Arsenal fans were acting, and now look what he's kind of brought, whether or not they've won the league or not, he's definitely brought them on as a club with a lot of money spent. I agree with Amorim, he's struggling at United, we might have dodged a bullet there. I'd be afraid fans turned on Noble after 2 weeks. I'd prefer he stays where he is. I don't even know if Noble wants that job anyway. Don't think we'll end up missing Amorim or Duran. What happened to the days of Abu, Saka, cheap but get goals? Need some decent scouting maybe to go to France League One. The problem, Alex, here is simply down to what strikers are available who score goals, and if they are available and they do score goals, they cost a shit load of money. Gaza, our fans are more fickle than most, but I think he'd be safe. I agree, we are. I've been thinking for quite a while, cash plus players deal is the only way we get near £100 million for Kudus. There's definitely is a £100 million player there. The board is at risk averse. Carrick won't be given a shot. David says this is Loppy's teams. Amorim has been given so many poor players. How do some people think you can polish a turd is beyond me. I agree with that 100%. We are screwed. The season is finished. Tobes, people started turning on him during the last of his playing days. I'd be interested to see how many of these players stick around if we get relegated. Hardly any. We know that. I don't think we will. I'm confident that we're not getting relegated, but this is not good news about Bowen. This really isn't, and I didn't want this show to turn into that, but it's true. The fact that Bowen's out does lead you to talk about the West Ham. It's going to force the hand. My concern is, I do think we've got players there that are capable of moving into different positions, but if we don't change our tactic and our style of play, then it's just going to be the same. I'm sorry, Gov, but I'm not going to say something that's not going to get me some shit. He's been backed. How is he? Sorry. I'm sorry, Gov, but I'm going to say something that's going to get me some shit. He's been backed. How has he not? Before the season, neutrals and pundits said we'd won the transfer window. No. I completely agree with you. Yeah, Lopetegui has been backed 100%. I was meaning in reference, if this is what you're referencing to Emery, in terms of the quality of player. If you go 1-on-1 with West Ham versus Aston Villa and you're a player, you're going to get offered more money per week. In terms of transfers, in terms of the fee that you pay, then I think we won the transfer market, but obviously that's not worked out. And my concern is, no matter who comes in at West Ham, if you're undermined from the top, then I just don't see how you can get over that situation. Lopetegui's going to get us knocked out of the FA Cup. Charlotte says go and get Jonathan David in January. But then again, who's going to come to West Ham if everything's so up in the air with West Ham at the moment? Still love how Rooney has somehow found managerial jobs the last couple of years. Absolutely. We need Tony 11 on goal line. Pulis. Given the state of things, I doubt Jonathan David what comes to us. Relegation is a possibility. Sully has picked a dud in Lopetegui, but he'd been successful. Who would have been Tim's pick? And Tim would have got the credit. I think the thing is, though, we've brought in Tim Steiden, who was supposed to go and choose the boss, but didn't get to choose the boss, so had to go with what the owners brought him, and that was the best, probably, of a bad bunch. Maybe Anton, mate, the main problem at our club has always been Sullivan. He always makes mistakes until he's gone. He'll always go where we are now. Cannot see it getting better. This season's gone for me. Danger of going down. Arteta was shocking, took him a season to turn things around. Arteta had an open checkbook. He did. Managers can be, we can get to replace Lopetegui, Allegri, Potter, Terzic, Fonseca, Xavi, Schmidt, Sarri, Lowe, and Ten Hag. I think a couple of those managers have been told not to come to West Ham. Slaven Bilic has said. I have a feeling a decent offer for Kudus might come in. I do think an offer will come in. It's just whether or not West Ham would be willing to sell. But it's going to have to take a lot of money to get him off our books, or to not to get him off our books, but to sell him. Looks like Kudus' preferred position is going to be his for now. Absolutely, it has to be. Anton, mate, we are never too good to go down. No, I agree with you. I think the problem is there's maybe 7-8 other teams that could be worse. In a worse off situation, probably playing better style of football, but just losing many games, and we seem to be picking up the odd points here, there and everywhere, and if we keep trickling through the season, I think we'll be alright. If we get a decent offer for Kudus, I'd be cashing in, bringing in a striker and attacking midfielder. We've only spent the rice money well because Steiden was allowed to use it wisely. Player and agents are greedy. I don't mind us not having our pants pulled down over a player. Has to buy a striker now. Chrissy says Tim needs sacking. Crap buys. Don't agree with you on that. I don't think it's all been down to him. Borough are very leaky at the back, not exactly what we need right now from muddy boots. We aren't going down, but this season almost certainly a write-off unless we get an amazing transfer window sorted. And this is the thing about why I think Lopetegui could stay as well, is because if we're confident we're not going down, they may give him the season and see if he turns things around next year. That's just the way our board work. Look how weak we are. Other teams in trouble and fighting hard. We don't. Another 5-0 at City, and Lopetegui is a goner. It's all a bit shit, really, isn't it? You can say that again, mate. I think the problem is the transfer windows before the Moyes. The board didn't back him and left us with the holes. Shipped out our players and haven't found reliable replacements since. You can say that again. Tim Steidten has bought bad players, but it's not all his fault. And sell Kudus now, and it would be game over, absolutely. So if you're just joining me, just to reiterate, West Ham themselves have announced that Jared Bowen is going to be out thanks to a fractured foot. After he picked up that injury in the 60th minute against Liverpool. That disastrous defeat against Liverpool at home. It's rubbish. It is, but I don't know what else we can do. I don't know what other negativity and stress levels we can take coming down to the end of this season. So before at least Kudus will be staying till the end of the season, then fucking touch wood, happy. Touch fucking wood. Oh my days. Listen, before I go though, let me tell you about this week's prize from Football Prizes. Look at this. This will bring you a bit of delight coming into the end of the 2024, coming into the 2025. A signed West Ham United boot display from our man, our legend, Paulo Di Canio. Tickets cost, are you ready? 39 pence. There are under 2,000 tickets to be bought, but 39 pence for a ticket. There are also 18 instant win prizes, which includes this signed Emerson West Ham top as well. So make sure you do get involved with the Paulo Di Canio signed West Ham boot display. Look at the boot display above in the picture. Get across there. The link will be in the description for you to join that as well. So make sure you do get in. 39 pence, which means you can probably get a few more tickets than you normally do. Tom says Sully has handcuffed Steidten. A good coach turns us around. Just look at Forest with Nuno replacing Cooper. Scary thing is that Sully would take Cooper. I don't think anyone thought that Nuno would have done what he's done at Nottingham Forest. Mental. Absolutely mental. Anyway, that's going to bring an end to the show for today. Not great news. May come back with a little Happy New Year message for you later on. I really do hope that things get better for West Ham in 2025. And if any of you are struggling in the world right now, then I hope that things get better for you in 2025. Do reach out to the West Ham Network at gmail.com. I want to wish you all a very happy new year. And I will possibly see you 2024. But if not, I will see you all in 2025 when things will start looking up for our wonderful club. Believe. Anyway, take it easy, everyone. Thanks for watching. And come on, you amazing and wonderful Irons.
Are you struggling for a Father's Day present for your West Ham supporting dad? Don't get socks. Get Alloy Collector's West Ham shirt kits. These are available, already made up in a presentation box, as demonstrated here. Or you can buy them self-assembly if they really want to.